Good morning, good morning, good morning. God is good. Blessed to see another Sunday. I'm going to do a devotional sermon this morning. It might bless someone, especially everything that we're going through this pandemic. And then this racial war and things like that. Just protesting and things. It just really been a down spiral year. And it all started when Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and the 7 other people died on that helicopter in January, and everything really went down spiral after that. And then, God is allowing all these things to happen in our life to get our attention. And now it's to the point everybody want to run to God when things it's not going well. When everybody should have been running to God. But now everybody want to crowd God now when people should have been talking to God each and every day. And it talks about that in the book of Job, when that man didn't obey to God, and he allowed that fish, stuck in that fish's belly 3 days and 3 nights, and where he had nowhere to run. But that's not the topic I'm going to talk about today. My topic I'm going to talk about today is coming out of Galatians chapter 6, verses 2 through 5. And it reads like this. Bear one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. For if anyone think of himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. But when let each one examine his own work, and then he will have rejoiced in himself alone, and not in another. For each one shall bear its own load. Which meaning, I just read to you Galatians chapter 6, verses 2 through 5. And my topic going to be today is we need to bear our neighbor's burdens. Bear our neighbor's burdens. Bear each other's burdens. Which means that we need to bear and share the burdens of each other. Because you never know what someone else is going through. We all are dealing with something in our lives that are hindering us. And we all are crying out in our own way. And my point is that look what we're going through with this pandemic. God is allowing a lot of this to happen to get our attention. And sadly, people are still not taking this seriously. And you got people that's going through different things like depression, suicide watch, divorce marriages. And I just feel for the people that's the 43 million people in the United States of America in the past 3 months that is unemployment just because this a pandemic. They are bearing the burden right now because they got families. They might have sick elderly people, anything, but can't pay their bills. Don't know which way to go. Don't know which way to run, and they can't run anywhere. And the sad part is, we got this president of the United States who is in this chair that is not doing what he's supposed to do, is not hold himself accountable. Point I'm saying is when you're bearing the burden, we need to learn to hold ourselves accountable. If we're in the wrong or the right, because we got to understand that only God in total control. And this president of the United States is trying to play God, but he can't play God. And it's going to be a time where he can't run anywhere. Where he's going to be one day hold himself accountable for everything he's doing. He's not taking the responsibility of the things that's going on in this world. In this country, he's worried about the wrong things, and the difference is he don't understand the meaning of bearing your neighbor's burden. Anything, he's putting more of burdens on what we're going through, and we're going through suffering as a country and as a nation because of this man, in this country, in the United States. And there's people got stuff going outside the United States. We can't have no control of it, but we need to worry about the burdens that's going on in this country, which he's not. Anything, he's put more of a burden than the burdens that we already dealing with. This is why we need to bear our neighbor's burdens. It don't hurt to call your loved ones to see how they doing. All it takes is 1 second to see how they doing, tell them you love them, because everything we're going through, we can't really do much. We can't live a normal life like we once did, and it's not going to never be the same norm when it do get back to normal. And we still got to be conscious, and we don't know, and then people is losing loved ones left and right because of pandemics, different things, being sick, all kinds of things. And that's why we got to bear each other's burden, and sometimes people need to hear a phone call and encouragement, a word of encouragement. In Galatians chapter 6, verses 2 through 5 talks about that. bear each other's burdens, because there is someone crying out, and this president of the United States do not understand the meaning of crying out. Those that don't understand the meaning of bearing the burdens are the ones that don't have a conscience, and that's sad. And there's gonna be a day when they're got to meet the Maker. They got to answer to the Most Holy High. They don't care what you do, how much money you got, how much fame you got, but there's no way you can't outrun God. You don't believe me? Read the book of Jonah. That man thought he could run from God when he wasn't obeying God, and he had to end up answering to God by getting stuck in that belly 3 days, 3 nights, and it humbled him. And that's why my point I'm saying is we all need to get ourselves together. We need to try to get it right, and we need to bear each other's burden. It's not going to hurt to call to say, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? To check up on them, because someone is crying out. I've been there. I've done that. So I know what that's like, to bear my neighbor's burden. And that's why that's my job to call, to encourage people. That's our job, to encourage people, not discourage people, not to talk down on people. That's the point. Is this president of the United States, he talks down on people. Instead of trying to encourage this country, he's talking down on this country. He's divided this country. And this racism stuff been going on for 300 years. And the thing is, he made it worse. And instead of us coming together and bearing each other's burdens through all races, instead we're talking down on, and it's discouraging what our black folks got to go through in this country. When they brought us over here 300 years ago, now they don't want us over here, and they try to took our knowledge from us. Point I'm saying is, we need to let the bearing each other's burdens, to try to learn as much as knowledge we can when it comes to our black history, and we need to learn knowledge in general. And knowledge, the point I'm saying is, we need to learn the knowledge of God, because once we learn the knowledge of God, we will know how to bear each other's burdens. Because right now we all are crying out, and we all don't know which way to go when it comes to this pandemic. And then this racial situation that we're going through. Since George Floyd was killed and all the other black folks was killed, I know what that's like, because I've been through that. And I bear the burden by being stopped by cops 3 times just because of my skin color. All I'm saying is here, we got to pray when we get up in the morning and leave our houses. And there's a time and place one day that all this is going to come to an end. We don't know when, we don't know how, but it's all in the timing of God. We got to bear the burdens of each other when they're crying out. And this is a message to the President of the United States. He's not bearing the burdens of the neighbor. Instead, he's tearing down the burdens of the neighbor by doing what he's doing, saying what he's doing, and things like that. Because there's going to be a time he's going to be held accountable. We all got accountability. We do good, do bad. That's why I say this country is in it what it is, because of we're not bearing the burdens. And that's why I say we all need to understand that. And may God bless.